McCain, and he'll be followed by Congressman Ruben Gallego. Senator.
Thank you, my dear friend, fellow veteran Rick Romley, Governor Ducey. Thank you, Jerry Rainey, on the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War. A special shout out, greeting to our Vietnam veterans and our Vietnamese community who enriched our state, our lives, fled the evils of communism, here living in a free nation. My friends at Arlington National Cemetery, just today, soldiers from the 3rd U.S. Infantry Brigade placed a small American flag at the headstone of more than 250,000 graves. Headstones that bear names of every ethnic origin mark the final resting places of professional soldiers and conscripts, rich and poor, Christian, Jew, and Muslim, believer and non-believer, descendants of Mayflower pilgrims and immigrants who had barely arrived in the country when they took up arms to defend her, dark-skinned and white, city dwellers and people from small towns and farms, teachers and machinists, businessmen and day laborers, poets and presidents. Families in every place in America have a relative or ancestor buried there. Besides their common humanity, only one thing for certain connects each of the men and women who were interned at Arlington. And with their fellow veterans resting in all our cemeteries and in foreign fields around the world, they loved our country and risked everything to defend her. War might not be the worst fate to befall a country, but it's a terrible thing nonetheless. The veterans here today know that you endured the heartache and deprivations of war so that the worst thing would not befall us, so that America might be free and secure in her freedom. We honor you. We are humbled by your example and chastened in our pride that we too, in our own way, have tried to give our country some good service. It may be true, or it may not. But no matter how measurable others' contributions to this blessed country, they are a poor imitation of yours. We know how little they have given compared to your service, and the solemn and terrible sacrifice made by those who did not return with you to the country you love so well. At Gettysburg, Belleau Wood, Iwo Jima and Midway, Normandy and the Ardennes Forest, Chosin Reservoir, Quai San, the Idrang Valley, Kandahar and Fallujah. All these battles, all these grim tests of courage and character have made a legend of the combat veterans' devotion to duty in every country in America. It is a lesson of courage, patriotism. It helps instruct those who defend our country today in their duty. And it instructs those of us who don't have the burden of bearing arms for our country. It is a surpassing irony that war, for all its horrors, provides the combatant with every conceivable human experience. Experiences that usually take a lifetime to know are all felt intensely in one brief moment of life. Anyone who loses a loved one knows what great sorrow feels like. Anyone who gives life to a child knows what great joy is like. The veteran knows what great joy and great loss feel like when they occur in the same moment, in the same experience. Such an experience is transformative. Some come home and struggle to recover their balance, which war had upset. For those who came home whole in spirit, if not in body, the hard uses of life seldom threaten their equanimity. You have known the worst terrors the world holds. You've seen acts of compassion and love that no evil could destroy. You've seen mankind at its most dehumanized and its most noble. No other experience will ever surpass its effect on your lives. Never forget it. If war has any glory, it is a hard-pressed, bloody, and awful glory that no one who hasn't experienced it can ever completely understand. It is the glory of knowing you withstood the savagery and cruelty and madness of war to do your duty to the country that sent you there, and you were not found wanting by the comrades who stood next to you. Today, Americans are fighting in faraway places most Americans have never seen. They suffer as you once suffered. They are brave as you were once brave. They, like you, will never be the same again. And years from now, on some Memorial Day that many of us won't see, when their fellow Americans are celebrating the beginning of summer and the comforts of life in a safe and successful country, they will bow their heads and mourn the sacrifices made to secure that future. You know the world we live in is an uncertain. It still holds dangers for us and for everyone for whom freedom is the habit of the heart. Man's inhumanity to man is an evil that will never be entirely extinct. No matter how long a peace endures, it is always tender. Americans always will be asked again to bear burdens that only the bravest can endure. That burden will be their duty, as it once was. But it is a better world than our fathers inherited and their fathers before them. A world purchased at great and terrible cost by sacrifices on killing fields that are now green fields and quiet beaches, peaceful corners of the world. We should be proud of what they did, proud and humble. Humble in the knowledge we enjoy our freedom because of the devotion of Americans who sacrificed everything to secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Those Americans for whom duty, honor, their countries, and their comrades were dearer to them than life itself. When the time came for them to answer their country's call and fight on a field they did not know, they came. And on small islands, dense jungles and mountainsides, in the air and on and below the sea, they served well the country that sent them there. In the fog of hard battles won and lost, they held high in a lantern of courage and faith that illuminated the way home with honor. History does not remember all of them as individuals. We don't even know where they all rest. We must not forget what they did. Their honor is eternal, and to live in our country, as long as she remains worthy of their sacrifice. Their family and friends to some, heroes to all, who lived, fought, and died for the safety and future